Now, this is the Randerson plan built by Toll Brothers. Now, before I go through any of the metrics on this home, let me just tell you it's loaded with different structural and design upgrades. For example, it has a grand entrance with 2 different staircases. It has double sliding glass doors in the main living area. It has a fireplace with tile going all the way up to the ceiling, and so much more that I'm gonna go through in this video. I think most importantly, as soon as you walk in the front door, you do recognize the space that's in here. And that's what people always tell me about homes that are built with Toll Brothers, is it just feels like you get so much great space. Now, we're gonna go through different things in this home that you can definitely replace after closing, like that light fixture if you want more of a chandelier or something that feels a little bit more custom. I have clients that are doing that in so many different communities, so I can give you examples of what they've done. I can go through different things that they did with the builder versus what they did with a third party after closing, and so much more. But I think what you see when you first walk in the front door, as well as here in the living room, is Toll Brothers is notorious for these tall ceilings and upgrades like this, like double sliding glass doors. Now, I will address that backyard in a second. Just know that this home is for sale currently at $1.76 million, or a little bit over that. The backyard is something that is a little bit smaller for some of the lots in this area or other lots that you might see. But if you want to build this plan from scratch, you really value a big backyard, I'm going to show you a lot later on in this video that is over 28,000 square feet that's available at the time I'm recording this video. But let's first start here in the kitchen. What so many of my clients tell me is they want a contrast in their kitchen. That's exactly what Toll Brothers did here on this inventory home for sale, with 2-tone kitchen cabinets, and that cabinet color on the island matches up really well with the backsplash going all the way up to the ceiling. That's in a chevron pattern over this 5-burner gas stove top. I like how they kept that vent hood open so you can put a backsplash going all the way up to the ceiling. And then I think a little bit of a pattern along with the texture in this backsplash, it just forces your eyes to look up. Now, a lot of those dark colors in that backsplash, as well as the darker kitchen island cabinet color, pulls out the veins in the countertop. The veins are definitely a little bit more subtle in this countertop. We also have a single basin sink here. And this all looks out to the main living area where you see that tile going all the way to the ceiling in the living room. That also matches up really well with the backsplash. So a lot of great coordination in here. We also have a nice flooring. It's an engineered hardwood, which is fantastic. And then we have the KitchenAid appliances here on the side. Now, we do have a butler's pantry that leads to a dining room. We also have a very large pantry that's in here. And then I'm not sure if you saw my business partner outside of this home. He's one of my realtor partners that owns 9 rental properties here in Austin, Texas. And so for a lot of my clients that look to invest into Austin, I connect them with my realtor partner who's outside this home right now, just taking a video of this home for one of our clients that we're working with. They're not looking at buying this as an investment property. They are looking to buy it for themselves. But of course, they want to also invest into real estate outside of here. Now, the reason why they're attracted to homes like this is because of how open concept they feel, and there's so much natural light coming in. Everybody tells me they want natural light, and so when they come into a living room like this, it's so wide open, there's tall ceilings everywhere, there's windows everywhere, and then there's things like the 4 outlet right over here, which is great for recliners, or if you just got to plug in your phone. I also like that there's electrical up there for a TV. But do you see that circular, I wouldn't call it an outlet. I'm struggling for the word for it, but it's just a conduit. That's the word I'm looking for, that goes down to a separate area so that you don't have to see your wires. You can just fish your wires behind the wall over there. So there's some great electrical. I won't cover all of them in this video, but I do want to cover what I would call the elephant in the room, and that's the backyard. So the backyard size is not huge by any means. But if we're evaluating it compared to communities like Treviso, the good news is it is usable. It is very flat, which is often what we see in this community called Hidden Creek. You also have some great natural trees that is fairly close to the home, but you can always talk to the builder about that, about what they plan on shaving off, just to make sure that we don't have issues, or the chances of issues are lower after closing. But if you're worried about privacy with the home that's behind us, keep in mind there are things that you can put back here, like landscaping or something that can get you a little bit more privacy. You just want to be careful where you plant it, because in some areas you can't plant it so close to the property line, and those are details that we can definitely cover when we work together on this. Now, what's great about this area is it does have a gas stub out, does have hot and cold for a sink, and then you even have electrical up there. So that's fantastic for a outdoor kitchen. And then you see the double sliding glass doors, which just really open up this space. And so there's a lot of things that you can do in here. For one of my clients that built with Toll Brothers, and as I've always said, a lot of clients that have built with Toll from scratch. And I've had some that even bought like inventory homes. What's great about Toll Brothers is when you have these things that are already in here, you can make this space look completely different. Like I had a client put in electrical or motorized, what do they call it? Mosquito screens that go down. And so in the winter, we watched the Super Bowl at their home. They had probably 100+ people in that Super Bowl party. And because they had sliding glass doors just like this, they were able to put those mosquito nets down. They were able to put, I think, like a heater or something like that that was out there. And this patio space felt like it was included on the inside of the home. Like it felt like it was a part of it. And the reason why is they only had one set of sliding glass doors, not two, but they were able to move these sliding glass doors all the way over. And so you had people watching like the Super Bowl on a TV screen up there. I guess their TV screen was kind of opposite of their outdoor kitchen. Obviously, you can't do that here where you have windows, but you still get the point. And then they had the Super Bowl on the inside as well. And this space just felt completely different. And obviously, they're my friends. I've been in their home many times. To see it like that with the sliding glass doors wide open and the mosquito nets down, it just looked incredible, and it just made the space feel so much bigger than what it was. Now, there's still a lot to see here. I'm going to shut this door so we don't have any bugs getting in, which bugs is another topic that maybe I can talk about a little bit later on in the video. But what I really want to cover is going to be the primary bedroom and bathroom next. There is also a second bedroom downstairs that has an in-suite full bathroom. There's a study with very tall ceilings and lots of windows, but there's still so much to see here. Like upstairs is a big media room, and there's so many things that I'm going to go through in detail here, but I think it's all about the primary bedroom. This feels massive. It almost feels like a gymnasium when you walk in here. It's incredible because of the ceiling height that's in here. Tall windows, transom windows above those tall windows, and then those same windows that we saw previously looking out to the covered patio. Now, they didn't have blinds in here, which is fairly typical for most builders. It's because a lot of people want to put in their own curtains or window shades or motorized blinds, and I have a lot of contacts for after closing window treatment. So let me know if you need those. You do have electrical up on the wall for a TV, and then everything opens up well into the primary bathroom. What I like about this primary bathroom, what a lot of my clients tell me, is they want the freestanding tub to kind of feel like a centerpiece in their primary bathroom. They always, I have a lot of couples that look at these bathrooms and they say, how many times are we going to actually use that freestanding tub? Is it necessary? And for a lot of clients that build from scratch, sometimes this is an upgrade option depending on the builder. But what I would say is, well, this is a space that you're going to be using often, and if you put a great design in here, that will likely come back to you at resale, because a lot of people make their decisions based on what they see in the main living area, as well as the primary bedroom and bathroom. When you have something like this with 3 windows above it, you have a nice tile that contrasts the floor tile, actually pulls out the veins in the floor tile. I think this really stands out as a luxurious bathroom. And this is that dark veins that I mentioned that were running through the floor tile that I think that gray tile really pulls out. So great design work, Simple, effective, makes this bathroom feel luxurious. And then if you weren't convinced, I'm not trying to convince you, but I do want to get your perspective on this. This is the walk-in shower that is massive. We have frameless glass enclosure, and then we have 3 different shower heads. Rain shower head that you can, that's usually your typical standard, and then one that you can even take off, which is great. And I just had a client get plumbing for that from a builder, but they wanted their own shower heads that they wanted to do after closing. And I told them you can do that, but one thing you want to be careful is if it's a different company than what the builder used. Like sometimes people choose Kohler versus Moen versus one of the other companies that are out there. And sometimes the valve is different on the inside. So they have to break out tile if you plan on using a different brand. So always be careful of that. You can't just change a faucet for a faucet sometimes, or a shower head for a shower head. There is some things that can be different on the inside. So always talk to your builder about that, and of course get representation from a realtor to know what questions to ask. Now in this closet, this is typically what we see, rods with shelves, but as I've always said, there are plenty of clients that I've had that have done things after closing, and there's so many options that you can do. I've had clients that take pictures of their closet after they get those things done by my contacts, and I almost don't believe that that's their closet. Like, it looks completely different when they put shelves in and different things like that. Okay, now I want to head to the second bedroom downstairs, because that was obviously the primary bedroom and bathroom, and there's a second bedroom and bathroom. But first I want to break it up and show you one of the structural upgrades that's here. This is going to be the wine room. That is one of the upgrade options that's here, which I think is fantastic. It provides a great design element, especially when you're walking in from the front door, which is right over our left shoulder. Now, if this door does not look stained, it's because it's not. Sometimes it's made to do that so somebody can pick the stain. Sometimes they want to match that stain of that door to the stain of the stairwell. But overall, and I'll just cover it while we're here, what I love about this plan and why it's such a popular plan, the Randerson plan, is you have this wide open grand entrance. And so when you first walk in, it feels so wide in here. It feels very grand with the 2 staircases. But what I love what they did from a design standpoint is the entrance narrows down right here so that it narrows down just to open back up again in this main living area. And that's something that I probably should have said when we first walked in, but there's just so many different talking points when you walk in here, but that feels grand. And that's a great design element, and why this plan has been so popular for years. Now, if you look at the Randerson plan, you don't have that many people talking about it right now at the time I'm recording this video. And that's usually because 2 things. Number one, not many people have toured this plan. That's why I try to get in here and tour these plans before others, because I think finding plans that are undiscovered is really important. But for this plan, it is usually a similar plan. It's just called something different. Like in Dallas, they have a model home called the Sandhaven floor plan. There might be some slight differences in there compared to this plan, but relatively similar. Also in a community called Treviso, which we toured earlier, Treviso also has a plan called the Rolling Hill, and if you need a walkthrough of that plan, I can definitely send that to you, but also very similar to this. If you want the differences, always reach out to me. Like I mentioned before, I have clients building in almost all of these communities, and if not actively building, we've looked at them dozens and dozens of times, and so I'm happy to walk you through all of the analysis that we've done, because like we always talk about, I'm here to not only point out pros, but also cons. I may not be able to point out all the cons in these videos for obvious reasons. I'm not trying to sever relationships with any builders, but there are cons. And I don't think those builders would mind me saying some of these things that I tell my clients because they are true. But at the same time, you never know who that one person is that might get offended by something negative that I say that I think somebody should know. Because just like with any builder, any floor plan, any community, there's always going to be pros and cons. Now, one of the pros of this plan is you have a lot of separation between the bedrooms. Like beyond that fireplace is the primary bedroom and bathroom. Obviously, we already went through the backyard. And then on the opposite side of the home here, we have that secondary bedroom and full bathroom. And why I think that's so important while we go through the breakfast nook area, which I think I missed here, that's so important because people are telling me they really want their parents or grandparents staying with them from time to time for weeks, sometimes months. And I quote it almost in every one of my videos. I mention that as so important because even if you don't have that, you don't have somebody staying with you that can't go up and down the steps, I think for this type of square footage, it's so important to have for future resale value. I also think this is important. This is a breakfast nook area that is open with that sliding glass door behind it, and that just feels fantastic. Right off of this huge kitchen island, which, by the way, this is an upgrade, and I'll try to cover some more structural upgrades that are in here. This upgrade bumps out the kitchen island, so it gets a little bit wider. And then also, do you see the patio that's outside is flush with the back of the home? Currently, they are offering an extension of that patio as a structural upgrade. I don't think they did it in this lot because then that would have just cut into the backyard, which is of course a little bit smaller, and so I think it made sense to just keep the standard patio. Also think this makes sense. This is the utility room with a lot of built-ins. You got some great cabinetry in here with a sink. A lot of my clients have dogs and they tell me they love having a utility room with a sink. That's an area for your washer and dryer. What they do tell me though is they prefer the big sink that you get from like Home Depot. That's just like a standalone sink and it's huge. It's very deep. I think this sink is pretty deep, but if you got like a big dog, sometimes people tell me they like bathing their dog either in here or maybe not if you have a big dog though. I don't feel like that would never be big enough. You have to bathe them outside or something. But if you have like a medium-sized dog, people tell me they really like to have that there. For that reason, but make it like a bigger sink that's deeper. And by the way, that's a plumbing for an ice maker in your refrigerator. So if you want a second refrigerator, you have that there. I didn't look at all the electrical, but usually that means that electrical, probably that one, yeah, most likely that one is a dedicated outlet, meaning it's not sharing outlet with any other outlet that's there. It's dedicated, running straight to the panel, which is really important if you're going to put a refrigerator there. But of course, I would have to verify that, and do not make any buying decisions without verifying this with a builder agent. Or like I said, I am a realtor. Feel free to reach out to me. I have my realtor partners and I can absolutely help you going through this process of finding the best options with all these builders. Now, this is a 3-car tandem garage. I think for some of my clients, they definitely tell me 3-car tandem garage is a minimum. This is the tandem space that is a water softener pre-plumb. And then this door goes outside so you can get right to your trash to take your trash out. So you don't have to go out your garage door and around. It's just a service door in the garage. There's really nothing else to say about that but that. But a lot of my clients, when they enter the garage, they want a nice mudroom area, and this definitely has a lot of the space for it. Some of my clients tell me they really want 3 bays in their garage, right? 3 bays rather than a tandem, just because that tandem usually just turns into storage, and sometimes having that space for like bikes and having that in the 3rd bay is great. That way you can just open up that 3rd bay garage and take out the bikes or anything. When you have a tandem space, you have to go take those bikes through the cars that might be in that 2-car garage. And for some people, that might be a little bit more annoying to do, or less functional is a better word for it. Let me know what you think in the comments though on that. What my clients tell me they love when they see this though is the butler's pantry. More cabinets. Everybody wants more cabinets, and I love seeing this. You have a couple sets of cabinets here, upper and lower. Matches up really well with the upgrades that we saw previously. I actually love this countertop. I think it has so much more movement in it. And this is where when I see these countertops, I love building from scratch. I find my clients find it very rewarding. It is definitely a lot more work, but when you build from scratch, you tend to get more of what you want, like that countertop. I like it, but let me know what you think. If you like it, the best part about working with a builder like Toll, they have a ton of design options. And so these different items that you see in their design studio or in some of the homes that you walk, you can absolutely get these in your home. And that's the fun part when building from scratch. And this is also fun. This is a huge dining area. So if you like Thanksgiving around the dining table, you like family dinners, you like all of these things in your home, and that's important to you, then when you first walk in the front door, you have this here on the left side, but it still feels like its own private area. And for one of my clients in their dining room, they made that wall an accent wall. In fact, they did like 4 accent walls in their home. They have so much going on in their home. I love it. And they are sending me pictures while it's happening right now as we speak. And some of the accent walls, like they did one in their dining room, another one in their study. It's incredible. Okay, this is going to be that huge study that I was telling you about. Outside of the study is a powder bathroom. And what clients tell me they love about studies is they want tall ceilings. They work there all day. The last thing they want to do is they want to feel like they're in a cubicle or something like that. They want to feel like there's tons of space, and you definitely feel that when you're here in the study. Now, for these windows, you do see anybody that's approaching. So if you put your desk right here, your Amazon guy or FedEx or whatever, those guys gonna basically see you when you come in here, of course, unless you have the blinds up. But what I do think, all jokes aside, what I like about this is if you get one of those shades that gives you privacy, but still allows a lot of natural light to come in, that probably would be the perfect shades here. So if you really like natural light coming into your home, but don't want it right up in your face, and you still want privacy, you just need the right window treatments, and you can definitely have that here in the study. Now, outside the study, you got a powder bathroom where they did a pedestal sink. A lot of the mirrors are framed, which is a good upgrade. And then we also have a lot that we're going to go through upstairs. So powder bathroom outside the study. We got double sliding glass doors, bringing in great natural light. Double doors for the grand entrance. And then now that we're back at the front entrance, I believe we covered everything on the first floor. I'm almost just making sure that we got everything. But we also have a lot of differences between this area of Cedar Park and Treviso. And if I don't trip going up the steps, we can definitely cover those. We'll cover those in a second. First off, when you get up to the front of this, the landing of this home, I love how those transom windows meet the eye line, and you get a lot of great greenery here. So even though the yard space wasn't as great, you did see a large lot space that we saw previously that you could build different plans on with Toll Brothers. But also, if you like views, you want views off your backyard, getting to the top of this landing and looking out at a beautiful view, that could be incredible. And there are certain plans that I think really take advantage of that. We'll keep going here. We're in the game room that has a few windows that look off to the side. You have a lot of space in here. And if you ever want to see this home staged, let me know. I usually have pictures of it somewhere, or I've toured a home that was a resale that one of my clients wanted to see. And obviously when those sellers have all their furniture in there, you can at least see it staged is a great example. So I actually have hundreds of videos saved on my back end that give you a great taste of what's possible here. Now, what's possible in this room is a media room. Do you see all the white caps on the walls? Those white caps are usually pre-wired speakers. So a lot of builders will give you pre-wiring done on the speakers. And I was just in Best Buy. My client did a very big media room build out, which I'll talk about in a second. But Best Buy does not like speakers in the ceiling. They say it should be right at your ear level. So where my hand is just extended right out from my body, like at a perpendicular angle. And that's right in line with these white caps where the speakers should be, which that makes sense to me. All the sound should be coming right at you towards your ears. And that's exactly how they have it in this room. Now, what I just said, I've had also other people disagree that do surround sound in a media room. So there's definitely a debate there. But Best Buy and other companies, I think, do a great job of this. they will walk you through what is best while you're building your home, and they'll tell you where to put everything. Like they might have a room like this where you can have all your electrical go to, and that's where you see some of the conduits. And actually, what I realized downstairs, the conduit above the fireplace, that might exit at another area, and it might be there. I need to look back at the electrical. If you can imagine, when I get documents for these homes, there's a ton in there, and then I'm touring multiple homes. Obviously, when one of my clients wants to see this home, we'll go through those details because they need to know. But my goal with this video is just to get you a feel for the space, right? That's what most people need, preliminary. But now that I thought about it, there's not a circular white cap off of that fireplace downstairs, so it must be exiting somewhere else. And now, this is one of the bedrooms that has a full bathroom right outside of it. And while we're here, let's just cover a difference between this area of Cedar Park, where Hidden Creek, the community, is located, where this plan is built, and where Treviso is in Leander. One of the biggest differences I find is proximity to businesses. What a lot of people tell me about Treviso is it's beautiful, but sometimes when, especially if you're in the back section of the neighborhood, it's difficult to get out of Treviso. Like sometimes if you count the stoplight at the front of the Treviso entrance, sometimes it takes like 3 to 6 minutes just to get out of the community, depending on where you are in the community, right? And sometimes for a lot of people, those big master plan communities, they love it. They love the community feel. They love all the people. But for some people that say like location matters to them, they don't want to be stuck in their car, they may not like it taking 6 minutes just to get out of your community. Now, once you get out of Treviso, it's 1431 Whitestone Boulevard. It's the same thing. It's beautiful. When you drive that down to Treviso, it's amazing. I have a lot of people fall in love with the hills of Leander, Texas when they make that drive. The tough part is when there's traffic there, it really gets bottlenecked because it's really one way in to get into Treviso and one way out. Now, the exception to that is Osage Drive, which is I would call it like a neighborhood road that goes from Treviso into a neighboring community called Crystal Falls. I would also recommend driving from Osage Drive into Treviso. It looks beautiful, but I wouldn't call that like a separate way to get out of Treviso. It gets you into the heart of Leander, but once you take Osage Drive from Treviso, you have to drive through the Crystal Falls neighborhood just to get to a main road. So I don't think that takes you right away to like a highway or something like that where you can drive very fast. And that's the tough part about Treviso, compared, relatively speaking, of course, to a neighborhood like this. A neighborhood like this is so close to New Hope Drive. New Hope Drive has a ton of businesses. You have Ronald Reagan Boulevard that's practically 30 seconds from this home, maybe a minute or two. And when you get to that area of Ronald Reagan Boulevard or New Hope Drive, you just have so many businesses that are there. And that's why, a lot of people fall in love with the hills, but they don't want to be as far out. They value location more. I think they land on a community like this. But if they prefer the location, they want a grand home like this, and they care more about location rather than topography, I think they land on an option like this. And that is a good summary of this plan, the Randerson plan with Toll Brothers. All right, I hope that helped. Back to the video. Okay, this is the lot that I was referring to that you could build on with Toll Brothers at the time I'm recording this video. Now, this is an unusual lot. It's in a half cul-de-sac, so it's got a very large pie shape, is what I would call it, over 28,000 square feet and so much room. Now, what can you do on this type of lot? Well, that's something we would have to visit in detail with the builder and check what we can do with the HOA. And that's something that I do for clients often when we're evaluating different opportunities. But for this one, I just know that there's a temporary building section in the builder's docs that, I'm around kind of where the home would likely be built, and that's something I still have to verify too while we're preliminary here. But this side yard section, again, I would need to figure out what we could do in that area in this community because everything needs to be approved by the HOA. But either way, this is a good shot of a lot that you can build right here in Cedar Park. Hope that helps. Back to the video. Or just back to my office where I have 3 things I want to mention to you. First off, if you like that Randerson plan with Toll Brothers, or maybe you're more interested in building from scratch,
then reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. If you text me introducing yourself, we'll jump on a phone call, and once I have a better grasp on your criteria, I'll be able to get you on a path to understanding your best options here in the Austin metro area. Second thing I want to mention is my website at the top of the description of this video has more information about the build process, about home search technology that we have, and even lots that you can build on, where we're constantly updating that on a weekly basis. So if you want to get informed of those lots that you can build on, definitely go to my website at the top of the description of this video. And then finally, I never really do videos like this where I'm in front of camera, and I started YouTube over 4 years ago, and I really started with the sole purpose of providing value to you. That's why I'm never really on camera. I don't see the need of, or really how that provides you value in any way. I think most people that have reached out to me have always said they love seeing the homes that they can buy here in Austin, because it, number one, builds a dream of living in Texas and living in the beautiful city of Austin, especially, or the surrounding areas. But number two, it also gives them value by giving them an understanding of what they can buy and different pros and cons of the process. And so that's what I'm happy to keep capturing. So if you're watching this in 2025 or beyond, really what I'm here to say is I'm so excited to take things to the next level here in YouTube. I can't really summarize what that looks like here in a video, but just know that I never say subscribe to the channel, but if there's ever a time to subscribe, it would be now, because we're about to take things to the next level here in YouTube to really provide you value. And so really I want to get on here and just thank you. Thank you for everyone who's watched. Thank you to all my clients who reach out to me over the years. 98% of my business comes from YouTube, and my wife and I have a 3 and a 1-year-old, and so over the last 4 years, it's been very busy with growing a family, but I've been able to support my family because of all the people that have reached out to me from YouTube. And if you would have told me over 4 years ago that people would reach out to me through YouTube, and that would be the majority of my clients that I work with, I would not believe you, but I'm so happy that happened, and I'm so excited to take that to the next level. So as always, I hope this helped. Take care, everyone. And if you want to see a plan that my clients are building in Treviso, that other community, I'm going to actually put 2 floor plans here, where 2 of my clients are building the Glenton plan that I'll put over here, and one of my clients is building the Haywick plan that's closing in a couple weeks right over here. And we have a lot more building from scratch. So if you are, again, interested in taking that step of understanding your best options, text me on the number at the bottom of the description of this video, and hope that helped. Take care, everyone.